All right, guys, for our next series of exercises, we're gonna be covering our grappling variation of our Dojo Ministries at-home training. Filipino martial arts does have a grappling subset known as Dumog, and we're gonna be using some of that here with our at-home training. Likewise, this training does draw inspiration from collegiate wrestling, which I have a background in, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now, a lot of this is gonna be on the ground, something that's gonna require full body exercise. Again, do the best that you can, adjust as you need to, and take small baby steps to do the exercise as best you can and to improve, grow in your spirit and your skill. So, if it seems foreign to you what you're doing here, you're training, you're learning something new, and it's totally normal to be frustrated and feel a little awkward with the movements. Take your time, break it down, do the best that you can, and learn how to grapple, both with your empty hands or possibly with a weapon in your hand. All right, let's get to it. All right, guys, for our grappling portion, because we're gonna be on the ground and we're gonna be using our upper body and our lower body so consistently, you do need to make sure you're building up those areas of your body. So burpees are gonna be the recommended exercise to get you warmed up. Now, if burpees are a little bit too much for you, I recommend planks. Plank for a minute or do some burpees. So, some burpees just as a refresher. We're up high, standing up. We're gonna go down low into hands on the ground, feet out, push up, here, and hop back to our feet. And again. If you don't want to do that, or if you're still improving in your ability to work out, and that's not something you're ready for yet, go ahead and do a plank. Ideally, you want to have your forearms in your upper arm here, 90 degrees. Either you're on your knees with your back straight, or you're on your toes with your back straight. Hold that for as long as you can. Ideally, aim for at least 1 minute. So I'm gonna hold it here for about 15 seconds. Go ahead, pause the video, get your reps in, get your time in, and we'll see you next exercise. You still here? Me too. Next. All right, guys, for some of our upper body work when it comes to our grappling variation for our Dojo Ministries at-home training, we're gonna be doing 2 different exercises to help you get your arms used to the idea of grappling and flowing around your opponent's body. And that's gonna be what's known as our candle dance and our lock flow drill. So I'm gonna show you both here. Take your time with learning these. It seems very foreign to you because grappling tends to be a foreign workout and foreign movement. Totally normal. So take your time, learn. I'll explain it as best as I can here. So the first exercise is called a candle dance, which draws inspiration from the cultural Filipino dance in which you are dancing with a burning candle in your hand. This actually came from Filipino martial arts in teaching how to move your hand around to get out of wrist locks or to move with the tool in your hand and flow around with your cuts. So to help you learn this candle dance, take something flat. I have this little mini frisbee here. You're gonna place it in your hand. The candle dance in its foundation is keeping this frisbee or whatever's in your hand flat as you move your arm around. Now, the main principle is to keep this flat. What I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna bring the frisbee back towards me, rotating my hand towards me. As I reach the limit of where my hand can go here, I'm gonna start moving my elbow and moving around. Again, I'm now moving my elbow and my hand around, keeping this as flat as possible, bringing it back around, and now I'm back where I started. I can go the other way as well, turning towards my chest, getting my elbow and shoulder involved, and now I'm back here. You can do that with the other hand as well. Turn your fingers towards yourself as you reach your limit. Bring your elbow around, keep the frisbee flat, tuck it in underneath here, back to where you started. You're gonna go towards my chest now, keeping this frisbee flat, and you're here. Think of it like a cup of tea or a cup of water. You don't want to spill anything here. Keeping it flat and learning to flow around. The idea here is someone grabs me, I'm teaching myself to get out of that lock, all right? Now, that's the first variation of some empty hand grappling that you can do is the candle dance, or you can do the lock flow set here. Now, this is a bit more involved and complex, but follow along as best you can. You're gonna take your arnis stick, or you can take a shorter weapon as well, if that's what you got. Hold one end, and then this, you're gonna have your empty hand over here. We're gonna start here at the wrist. I'm gonna take the stick and push against my wrist here with the empty hand, and I'm gonna pull as well. I'm gonna pull with the wrist, push with the stick. Now, I'm gonna roll my wrist underneath so that the back of my hand is pushing against the stick, and I'm gonna push back against my hand as well as push against the stick here. So now I'm pushing with the back of my hand. This is simulating grabbing here or pushing here. Grabbing or pushing. Grabbing and pushing. All right? So again, pulling with the wrist, pushing with the wrist. Next, I'm gonna flow back underneath here, get into the crook of my elbow, push into my elbow and pull back, pulling in with my elbow here. Once I'm here, gonna roll the stick around so that the back of my arm, the tip of my elbow is here, and I'm pushing with my elbow, and I'm still putting pressure here with my stick. So I go from pulling with my elbow to pushing with my elbow. From here, this hand is gonna dive underneath my stick, wrapping around, creating this figure 4 or triangle lock with my arm and the stick. I'm gonna pull in here, like I'm going in for a guillotine or a choke, and then I'm gonna push here, like I'm creating space so I can get out of a grappling situation or I can control a clinch, right? So again, we went from pulling with the wrist, pushing with the wrist, pulling with the elbow, pushing with the elbow, wrap around to the figure 4, pull in, push out. From here, hand's gonna come out from that figure 4 lock, gonna dive over the stick. The stick is gonna follow along my arm here, keep that pressure all the way behind you till you're chambered here. Once you're here, press back with your head, pull with the stick. You should feel some pressure at the back of your neck here. Once I'm here, I'm gonna take my hand, guide that stick underneath my arm. So I have this space here, another guillotine style choke. Then from here, I'm actually gonna switch hands, pull the stick out from my armpit, and now I'm on the other side, same thing. Pull with the wrist, push with the wrist. Pull with the elbow, push with the elbow. Figure 4, pull in, push out, bring it around, lock with the head, guide the guillotine block into my armpit, and then I'm gonna switch hands. Now this is the lock flow drill that teaches the different attributes of grappling with the upper body, using your hands to do different locking positions and clinch work. So if you want a more in-depth understanding of that, come to training at Dojo Ministries. Otherwise, go ahead, learn this flow, and get more adept to rolling around with the stick and manipulating the stick, and you'll learn how to manipulate someone else in a grappling context. Likewise, you got your candle dance. Get something small in your hand, or just practice keeping your hand flat and bring it around. Try not to drop it. All right, guys, do what you can to practice your candle dance or your lock flow drill. All right, pause the video, get your reps in. I'll see you next exercise. All right, guys, for our next exercise in our grappling variation of our Dojo Ministries at-home training, we have our twisting lunges. A lot of grappling, whether it's gonna be primarily standing up or getting down to the ground, we gotta be able to twist and move and have our proper footwork. Twisting lunges help us to build our legs for those situations. So to do this, we're gonna get our feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And for our twisting lunges, all we're gonna do is, whichever side we're going, I'm gonna go to my left first. I'm gonna point my feet in that direction. And then I'm gonna go down into a lunge. I should get 90-degree angles on both legs here. I should feel it in my quads. Once I'm here, I'm gonna go down, hold for a second, twist back up, and then I gotta go to the other side, point my toes in that direction, get on the balls of my feet, and I'm down. And back up, and down. All right, guys, so that one's definitely gonna work your quads a little bit. Go ahead, pause the video, get your reps in. I'll see you next exercise. All right, for our next exercise, we're gonna be doing our duck walks, and this is something, especially for collegiate wrestling, it's very important to understand and to have down so that you can drive into your opponent and move around when you're in a grappling context. So we're gonna be focusing on our legs for our duck walk here. Similar to our triangle pattern in our long weapon variations of these workouts here, we're gonna move in a V pattern to practice our duck walks, all right? So we're gonna be here for our duck walk. What I'm going to do, I'm gonna start going off to my left. I'm gonna step out into that V. I'm gonna bring my knee down. I'm gonna drag my foot forward to where my left foot stepped. Then I'm gonna go back here. Now I'm gonna go to the right side. Step forward, bring the knee down, drag the leg to that step here. The purpose of this is when you're grappling, oftentimes, for example, for collegiate wrestlers, they're going in for a takedown, they're coming in like so and driving into their opponent. For the sake of repetition, we're gonna keep to that V pattern here. You should definitely feel it in your quads, a little bit in your toes as you're getting these steps in here. Keep your back straight. Don't slouch over, but keep your upper body up, driving into that step. If need to, as you saw me do right there, go ahead, going straight forward and back, right foot forward and back, left foot forward and back. It's very important that you get that drag in your step here so you're walking like a duck. All right? All right. All right. So, whether or not you want to quack like a duck while you're doing that, pause the video, get your reps in, see you next exercise. All right, guys, for our next exercise, we're gonna be doing the sprawl or slow up downs. Now, the sprawl is a technique that comes from collegiate wrestling, which is a defense against a takedown, such as a double leg takedown. Now, sprawl looks like this. You're in your stance, it's gonna be a little bit wider than boxing stance, hands are up. The idea is to shoot your feet and your hips backwards and to drive your weight down into your opponent who's coming in for a takedown here. So, as they come forward, they're coming in for a takedown, I'm catching them here. I'm gonna jump back, get my hips and my feet clear of my opponent, and go down onto the mat. Now, as I do this, start slowly if you're just learning this for the first time. Get your hips back, hands forward, so you can catch yourself here, shoot your hips out, and you're down. Once you touch the ground, you go back up, back into your stance. In full speed, it looks like this. All right, so that's a collegiate wrestling sprawl. You are sprawling out, so then that way you can stuff the takedown and prevent them from taking you down and work on your defense. If that is something you are not able to do, or maybe the surface you're working with doesn't accommodate you flattening yourself onto the ground at high speed, go ahead and do slow up downs. All right, so if you're standing up here, go down, hand on the ground, out. If you want to add that push-up, you can, or just go out to all fours, step in, back up. Go down, hands on the ground. All right, so do whichever variation you can, whether it's sprawling or slow up downs. Be safe in the environment that you're in. Try not to knock anything over and work your grappling as best you can. All right, guys, pause the video, get your reps in, see you next exercise. All right, how's it y'all? Now we're going into our sit out exercise for this drill. This comes from collegiate wrestling again, as many of these exercises do. And you're gonna start here on all fours, feet flat, knees down, on all fours here. This is your starting position. This is where you're gonna get back to as well. For your sit out, this is to help you manipulate on the ground. Someone's on top of you, helping to get out from underneath them. Let's break down step by step. For your sit out position, move back so you can see everything I'm doing here. If I'm gonna go off to my left here, I'm gonna lift my left hand. I'm going to get my left knee up and on my toes here. So now I have weight on my right arm. I'm posted here, my right leg, and I'm just getting ready to get that to come underneath here. So I'm here, left hand up on my left toes. I should have weight on my left leg and on my right arm. So I should be able to do this. Once I'm up, I'm gonna shoot my right leg out and sit out, as the name implies, onto my feet here. And now I'm free to move around from the sitting position. Again, I'm here, hand up, knee up, sit out. Now, for the second of our exercise, we're just gonna go out as far as here, get this leg out, then we're gonna retract back, going in reverse. Put the weight on my left leg, my right arm, bring this right leg back, put the knee down, put the hand down, and I'm back to my starting position. Going to the right side now. Right hand's gonna go up, right leg is gonna go up, so I'm on my toes. Weight on my right leg and on my left arm. Should be able to lift up on those two there. Use my left leg to sit out, and now I'm here. And here. If it looks like you're breakdancing, you're not too far off. All right, guys, that's our sit-out exercise. Go ahead and practice that a few times. Do the best that you can. If you need to, just get your arm up and sit. Go from all fours and sit. That's all you're trying to do here. These technical techniques are just so you can apply it in a grappling context. All right, guys, pause the video, get your reps in. See you next exercise. All right, guys, for the last portion, our cardio portion of our grappling variation of the Dojo at-home training routine, you have two choices, mountain climbers or butterfly kicks. I know neither of them are extremely pleasant when it comes to working out, but grappling involves the whole body and it gets you on the ground. So pick exercises that are gonna help you to do that. So mountain climbers, here we go. All right, whether it's for 30 seconds, for a minute, or 5 minutes, if you're insane and fit like that, go ahead and do what you can. You're on your hands here into a push-up position, and you're gonna bring the right knee up as high as you can, ideally to your chest, back, left knee up, ideally to your chest and back. For 30 seconds, doing that as quickly as you can. Pace yourself, go as hard as you can. All right, hard as you can, hard as you want to. So you're here. Keep your chin up, that way you're not bringing weight down onto your arms unnecessarily. If there was a towel here, I should be gliding that towel across the ground. All right. I think this is going on for like 15 seconds. If you're not gonna do mountain climbers, we got butterfly kicks as the next exercise. So, you're gonna be flat on your back, whether your hands are above your head here, off to your side, under your bottom. Do whatever you need to do to properly do a butterfly kick. Your legs are gonna go out, keep your knees straight, and you're kicking up and down like you're swimming. You should be engaging your abdominals muscles here. Keep your chin tucked in here. Breathe and do the best you can, all right? So again, if it's for 15 seconds, if it's for 30, 60 seconds, whatever you can do, go ahead and do that so you have some cardio for your grappling work. All right, guys, good job. Make sure you cool down, get your Bible reading in, and we'll see you tomorrow as you continue on these exercises. All right? This is actually Remember, above all else, warrior up, heart of God, handle it. That's how you end a video.